life's journey, I've borne the burden of self-inflicted pain and suffering. I've learned that we cannot be born again from our mother's womb. We must be born again of a new spirit, a new hope. We must build strength in all of our broken places, and we must do this together. I am responding to a draft.
He represented Illinois' 2nd Congressional District for nearly 2 decades before resigning, citing health issues and an ongoing investigation, eventually serving prison time. And now Jesse Jackson Jr. says he is ready to return to public office. In his first live TV interview since his announcement just hours ago, he joins me now in studio to talk about his decision. So thank you for being here.
Dawn, it's my pleasure.
So you served about 17 years in your seat, and now you've been away for 10 years. So why now, and why today did you announce on your dad's 85th birthday?
In large measure, I'm responding to a draft by Congressman Bobby Rush and Congressman Danny Davis and constituents that I formerly represented to re-enter this race, to give public service another chance. The number of people in the southern part of the district, from Tilton to Westville to the northern parts of the district in South Shore, have overwhelmingly indicated that they like to see me return to public life. And I'm going to do everything I can to provide them the same kind of leadership that I provided when I was in Congress.
Well, let me ask you about that, because you went to prison for misusing campaign funds. How do you regain that public trust? That's how many voters remember your story. How do you change that?
Well, you have to earn trust, and I plan to earn it over the course of this campaign. We are going to submit nearly 10,000 petitions, signatures to be on the ballot next March. I might also add that 70% of the petitions that I get will come from the Markham Courthouse, the busiest building in the 2nd Congressional District, where men, women, lawyers, judges meet on a daily basis to discuss the fate of thousands of people on the south side of Chicago and south suburbs. Dawn, I am not running from this story. I'm going to tell the story of redemption, and I'm going to tell the other side of the story that men and women in our district, their families, need to hear, need to understand, and they need to know that they have a fighter in Washington, D.C. who will not back down from their stories.
Well, let's talk about that, because one of the stories is right in the 2nd Congressional District in South Shore. ICE raided that apartment building, middle of the night raid. You've seen the protests, ICE here, now the National Guard. So, this is a very volatile time. What is one of the first things you're going to tackle if voters get you back in office, seeing what you are experiencing in your own neighborhood?
Well, let's first start with the obvious. It was the governor of Texas who sent immigrants to the city of Chicago in the middle of the winter, and we provided them with security, we provided them with warmth, we provided them with housing. And now the governor of Texas, under the leadership of Donald Trump, are sending troops here not only to gather the men and women that they sent to Chicago by bus in the middle of the winter, they're also arresting African Americans, and they're arresting our constituents for which they have no legal authority. And so I'd love to see the governor of the state of Illinois and Attorney General Kwame Raoul indict the governor of Texas for his role in creating the chaos that exists here in Chicago. And I plan to join Brandon Johnson, Governor Pritzker, and other elected officials in our condemnation of what's taking place in our city.
All right, let me talk about your family. Your dad's 84th birthday is today. We know you and your family have been taking care of him as he battles Parkinson's. Did he give you any advice? Was he part of the reason that you decided to do this now, especially now that your brother also is busy in the 1st Congressional District? What really motivated you, and did he give you any advice on coming back?
Well, the motivation for this particular run is from Congressman Bobby Rush, and that was we need a draft movement to answer the question of leadership in the Congress of the United States. With the CBC, with the Democratic caucus, it is very unpopular, and Bobby Rush is familiar with my leadership. And so I'm grateful for that effort by that steering committee, that exploratory committee, and we're going to respond favorably and have responded favorably to that. But as it relates to Jesse Jackson, 84 years of solid public service.
That's a legacy.
It's quite a legacy, and I'm glad that he lived to see the day that his son would re-engage this process. The last thing that he said as it relates to this effort was not addressed to me. It was Hermine Hartman who asked Reverend Jackson when she shared with him that I'm joining Jesse Jr.'s campaign and I'm going to help him run for Congress. And Reverend Jackson responded to Hermine in one single word: win. And I plan to do just that.
So are you ready for the hits that will come? This affects your family. You have children. This affects your family. Are you ready for that? It's very tough to get into the political race, especially nowadays.
What I know is we're stronger in our broken places. I may not have been as strong in the previous efforts for Congress, but I'm much stronger now. I've got men and women who need support, and I plan to be their leader. I plan to provide them with advice. I plan to offer them assistance, and I plan to represent them in the Congress of the United States and wherever else they'll have me go.
All right. What's next for you quickly as we run out of time?
I plan to register about 5,000 new voters after I file my petition, just like I did in 1995. I plan to expand democracy, and I plan to win by the number of voters that I register.
Well, thank you, Jesse Jackson Jr.
Thanks, Dawn,
Thanks for coming in
to
to talk to me.